So on Sunday, November 6th, I was so pleased, and many of our trustees and audience members were with us to participate in the NAACP Freedom Fund Dinner. What a tremendous evening. The event was very well attended, just a huge ballroom you can see there, and 130 of our students honored for their academic achievement. The awards are given to students in grades 10 through 12 who have maintained a 3.2 or higher GPA for each semester of the past school year. It was a tremendously inspiring evening, and I want to share with you, trustees, that we had tremendous student voice that evening in student speakers and performances, and some of those performances are coming in student voice on December 7th. So you'll get the great opportunity to see some of those great pieces. There we go. Aren't they beautiful? Huron High School's Symphony Orchestra, under the direction of Mr. Timothy Crone, has been invited to perform at Midwest Clinic in Chicago, an international band and orchestra clinic. This is one of the highest honors that an ensemble can receive, as only the very best from around the country and the world are invited. This is the first time an ensemble from Ann Arbor has been invited to perform since 1990. And they are one of only 2 high school orchestras from across the country invited this year. So we're very excited, and I hope that I get to go. I'm not sure if I do or not, but I hope so. Pioneer Junior Larry Iden has received, you probably saw this, has received the Boy Scouts National Medal for Outdoor Achievement. Only about 300 scouts have ever achieved this distinction. It took him 5 years to complete the requirements in first aid, wilderness survival, search and rescue, in addition to completing 125 days and nights of camping, hiking 300 miles, performing 125 hours of conservation work, riding a non-motorized bike 200 miles, and planning and leading trips for his local troop. So congratulations to Larry Iden, Pioneer. Clegg, 8th grade, class recently visited the Gettysburg battlefield. They were on Twitter sending out updates, so it was great to follow their progress. Principal Che Carter received a note from a docent in Gettysburg who is a retired U.S. history teacher. She wrote, "Your students were fantastic during the Gettysburg battlefield tour. They were eager to learn of the events of this great decisive battle of the Civil War. I'd rate them as one of the best groups I've ever had. You should be very proud of them. They were very respectful and represented their school, their parents, and themselves very well." So we're proud of our Clegg 8th graders. Westerman preschool fathers Jabir Kerala and T.C. Collins arranged a safety day for the 200 preschool students. They invited representatives from the Ann Arbor Police and Fire Departments, as well as Huron Valley Ambulance, to the school to meet the children and let them see a close-up view of the vehicles they see on the streets with lights and sirens blaring. So there they are, preschool, checking out the emergency vehicles. You may have heard that Pioneer's field hockey team won Division I state championship for the 2nd consecutive year. Congratulations, Pioneer field hockey. The Ann Arbor Educational Foundation has started presenting their teacher grants just this week. So far, the grants have been awarded for ebooks for Huron High School. Here's some great video of them congratulating the winners. They have been awarded ebooks for Huron High School's transition to becoming an IB school, funds for students at Pioneer to take the National Latin Exam, Eco-Justice literacy materials at King Elementary, phonics software for self-contained classrooms at Abbott, resources for promoting acceptance and support of transgender, gender questioning, and gender fluid students at Patton Gill Elementary. The Classroom Environment Advisory Board welcomes the community to visit and experience the pilot furniture across the district. Ms. Linden's here with us tonight. If we have questions, we can have her clarify. We're so excited to have our pilot furniture classrooms all set up. They are across the district. Trustees, you will recall this is so that we can collect data on how our students feel about the furniture, how our staff feels about the furniture, and also give an opportunity for open houses so that our parents can come in and see the great new furniture that we're getting in and starting to make decisions and selections about. The Lighthouse Classroom open houses start tomorrow, November 17th, from 5 to 6 at Hazley and at Clegg from 5:30 to 6:30. As you can see, there are a whole list of open houses, and I imagine this is posted on our website, Mr. Cluley, Ms. Linden? It should be up on our website, so we'll make sure of that right now. And additional open houses are coming up on November 28th at Bryant, Mitchell, and Scarlett, December 7th at Huron High School, and December 15th at Ann Arbor Open. So we would encourage anyone and everyone in our community to come on in and take a look at some of the ideas for our new furniture and to offer feedback. That's one of the many ways that we're collecting data as our advisory group comes to make recommendations for furniture purchases. Wines Elementary Project Lead the Way teacher Sarah Shemansky was asked to blog on the Project Lead the Way national website. The site notes that our district has launched Project Lead the Way in every elementary school, every middle and every high school. So there it is, her blog. Pioneer High School counselor Colleen Creel has been nominated for the 2016-17 National Life Changer of the Year Award. Sponsored by the National Life Group Foundation, the National Life Changer of the Year program recognizes and rewards the very best K-12 educators and employees across the U.S. who are making a difference in the lives of students by exemplifying excellence, positive influence, and leadership. Winners of that award will be announced in the spring of 2017. On November 4th, Friday, November 4th, the Ann Arbor Public Schools facilitated a joint meeting of the Transportation Safety Committee with our city officials and with our city schools committee. And I want to thank Mayor Christopher Taylor, City Administrator Howard Lazarus, along with council members Briere, Grand, and Lum for attending our transportation safety meeting. We agreed to work collaboratively to increase safety measures around our school. We will continue to meet together. There are definitive actions being taken. We made a request of the city that they evaluate every area of the city around our schools. They agreed to do so and have put a 60-day timeline on that. So they will be bringing a report back to us in 60 days with an analysis of the most at-risk areas across our district. In addition, on November 10th, Trustee Thomas, Huron High School Principal Dr. Janet Schwam, and I addressed Ann Arbor City Council regarding our safe zones around our schools. I want to thank the council members, Mayor Taylor, Mr. Lazarus, for their concern and commitment in working with us to address safety concerns around our schools. They did, I'm sure you've heard in the news by now, agree to improve the lighting in the area of Huron High School, and also voted that very evening to facilitate a transportation advisory committee at the city level and to have school district personnel sit on that advisory group. So we have, as we heard earlier, the need for action steps, and we are realizing those action steps as we move forward, and this is one of the areas around school safety and our transportation and pedestrian safety. Yesterday, or Monday, I had the good fortune of meeting with, we talked about it earlier, the Superintendent Student Advisory Council. High school students, and we had counselors and folks in the room. Also, they are a great group, as we said, of bright, talented, thoughtful young people, and I look forward to our continuing conversation. They consumed a good deal of pizza, and but they were just the most, the brightest and most respectful group to each other. And they were just so great to bring out their thoughts, and we're going to do great things in that group. I do want to move to the transportation trustees. Every meeting we have updated on transportation. We will be bringing an action item, an agenda item on December 7th, is that our team and the Durham team have followed through to create the contract amendment. I believe, Trustee Stead, that we'll be reviewing that on November 30th in Planning Committee, and then it will come to the meeting on December 7th. We followed exactly the direction that was discussed from our parents and from our trustees on that board meeting in October. In addition, we met again yesterday. We're meeting regularly with our team from Durham to review the metrics on our buses and our transportation. Last week, this past week, I'm pleased to report that we were on time with our buses, between 92 and 100% of the time. And by on time, we mean that the buses arrived or departed within 5 minutes of the stated time. So the metrics are looking significantly better. We also had a driver for every bus on every day for the previous 3.5 weeks. We are getting more consistent with those drivers. We continue to say to our parents, when there are issues, please call directly in to our offices, because we like addressing those issues right in real time. One example was that we changed a driver one day a couple of weeks ago during the day. So between a concern in the morning and a pickup in the afternoon, we made the appropriate change, and we'll continue to problem solve at that rate. The afternoon middle school transportation, as we shared at the last meeting, does have a few remaining routes that are delayed or late, and this is because of some of the structural problems in our scheduling. So we are continuing to work on those. Our principals have made arrangements so that if students are there for 7 or 8 minutes, we do have folks watching over them to make sure that they are safe until they are picked up. And that amount of delay is between about 2 and 10% of the time. Very few elementary or high school buses are moving late or delayed. Those are pretty much running on time. I do want to share specifically about Ann Arbor Open, because that was an area of concern, and it's an area that we've been working vigilantly on. Ms. Linden, Ms. Parks, Principal Finnick, and our representatives from the Durham team have followed up with every single parent that has called us or expressed a concern. We are seeing an increase over last year in the ridership for Ann Arbor Open. Last year, we were averaging about 52 students in October of 2015, riding to Ann Arbor Open. This year, we are averaging between 60 and 70 students that are transported morning on to Ann Arbor Open, and in the afternoon, we are running close to 100 students on those buses leaving Ann Arbor Open. So I just want to make that, because that was a question that came to us. We will continue to work with Ann Arbor Open parents to make improvements, and just today heard that a great next step will be a follow-up meeting out at Ann Arbor Open with those parents. Ms. Linden was with their PTO just, 2 or 3 weeks ago, around the time of that late October meeting. but we will be following up with an additional meeting at their request. We received that request today, and we'll move forward tomorrow to set the date and ensure that Ms. Linden, Ms. Parks, and our Durham team are out there at Ann Arbor to make sure all their questions and concerns have been heard and addressed. When we met yesterday with Mr. Brad Tate, the Regional Vice President of Durham, we also met with the external auditor. And trustees, I'll just remind you, I'm sure you remember that we agreed on an external audit at the cost of Durham. And so we were able to meet that individual yesterday and get to know a little bit about the transportation company that he represents. They actually are in this business of analyzing transportation systems, finding efficiencies, seeing where we may have opportunities for improvement. During that meeting, we talked about other areas of improvement, including enhancing the software on the buses so that parents are able to see where the buses are at all times, and so that they are able to get instant communication updates and not have to wait for a principal to get to a computer to send a school messenger. That's a less elegant way of communicating. We also talked about getting Wi-Fi on the buses. We do know that many of our 9,000 students that we transport every day do spend time on our buses, and many of them spend a half hour and some as much as 45 minutes on our buses, and that's due to our congestion and our traffic in town, and particularly our traffic around the school pickup and delivery times. So we're looking at the opportunity to ensure that students could do homework or could have that Wi-Fi during their transport. So real-time communication, and on December 7th, again, we will be back to the board with the action item, the agenda item, to follow up on the Durham Amendment. And so with that, I believe that's the completion of my superintendent's report, and I thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.